Welcome back to Data Talkies. In this video, we will be learning what Apache Spark is and why we need it in a very simple way. When we talk about data, it is all about two terms. First is storage, which is your RAM and disk. Second is processing, which is your CPU. In other words, where the data is stored and how to process it. We have a file.txt, which is stored and processed by machine A. Let's say data increased 3 times. Machine A does not have resources to store and process the increased amount of data, and therefore you cannot store the new data on the same machine. How can you handle the increased amount of data in terms of storage and processing? You can add more resources to the same machine, like CPU, RAM, and disk, and make it more powerful. This is called vertical scaling. One thing to note here is that the bigger file will be on one machine and processing of the file will be done by a single machine only. Also, machines have limitations to which extent you can add more resources. And if your requirement is higher than the capability of the machine, then you have to replace it with a newer, bigger machine. Now let's explore the other way to handle the increased amount of data. Instead of adding the resources to the same machine, why can't we have smaller multiple machines instead of one bigger machine? As you can see on the right, instead of increasing the RAM CPU to one machine, we added 3 more machines of the same size as the original machine. This is called horizontal scaling. All the machines are connected to each other in a cluster. In terms of storage, rather than storing data in one big single machine, why can't we chop this data into small pieces and store them in small machines and process them in parallel? As you can see here, file.txt is stored in 3 machines in parts. Now 3 machines will be doing the processing of the file in parallel and hence faster. You can keep adding machines as per the requirement and there is no limitation to it. This is what distributed data concept is. Now data is stored across all the machines in distribution. What left? We need a distributed compute engine to process the data across multiple machines in parallel. So in big data, there are two main terms, distributed storage and distributed compute engine to process the data across many machines parallelly. Which framework can handle the above concept? Hadoop. Hadoop has HDFS as distributed storage, which is basically a Hadoop distributed file system. And MapReduce is a distributed compute engine to process the distributed data in parallel across many machines. What's the problem with Hadoop then? Hadoop's MapReduce compute engine is slow. But why? In MapReduce jobs, intermediate stages write results to local disk and read it back from local disk to run the next stage, and this adds up the disk input-output time and hence the process slows down. Here in the example, you can see that after reading the file from HDFS, DF operation will write its result to disk, and in order to process the next step, which is errors, it will read the output of DF from the disk again. Reading and writing the results to disk slow down the processing of the MapReduce engine. Therefore, Spark comes into the picture as a distributing compute engine which will solve the problems with the Hadoop's MapReduce compute engine. Spark compute engine is faster than MapReduce compute engine, but how? Spark loads the data from the source and process in memory and keeps the data in memory and saves a lot of extra time, which is disk read and write time, like disk IO time, which was involved in Hadoop MapReduce. Here in the example, you can see that after reading the file from HDFS, DF operation will write its results to memory, not disk. And in order to process the next step, which is errors, it will read the output of DF from its memory. It's not gonna read or write anything to local disk while doing the processing. This is the main advantage of Spark. In memory is the main thing. Now we can go to the final definition of Spark. Apache Spark is an in-memory data processing engine designed for large-scale distributed data processing. Spark is 10 to 100 times faster than MapReduce compute engine. That's it for this video. I hope you like the content. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video.